We don't pronounce anyone alcoholic. So no, that's not the book says, motherfucker. Go to page 31. It says we don't like to pronounce anyone alcoholic, but you can quickly diagnose yourself. Step up there. And I quoted that. I go, now go to page 92, bitch. It says, if he is alcoholic, he will understand you at once. He will match your mental inconsistencies with some of his own. If you are satisfied that he's a real alcoholic, begin to dwell. Oh, hold on. So we're qualifying the alcoholic, right?
Right.
See what it says? If you're,
Bill contradicts himself a little bit
but
from time
that's
to time.
That's not pronouncing someone alcoholic. That's qualifying.
Right.
We qualify the fuck out of them people.
Right.
Who better to?
Let's go to work.
Yeah.
You sit on the toilet, don't you?
Yes.
Use that as your meditation.
Not my wife, not your wife, nor anybody listening to this podcast has eaten a shit sandwich. We didn't have a hand.
Welcome to Recovery Unfiltered. I'm Larry. I'm an alcoholic.
I am Rob. I am also an alcoholic. We are not professionals. There are no letters after our names. We know very little. However, you will hear the word God and a four-letter word in the same sentence. You will also be offended. So if you are easily offended, just pass us by. This podcast is not for you.
Our opinions are just that. If you don't agree with what we're saying, that's okay. We're going to love you anyway. Rob won't. Not in any way affiliated with AA.
Probably not. Sit back, grab a beverage of your choice, and get ready. Just not alcohol. LSD, PCP.
Hello, Rob.
Preparation H. Nothing
Hello.
after your name. Hey, Larry.
Hey, you know what? I like doing these sometimes, just you and me.
Yeah, they're good.
It is.
We get on fire a little bit.
I just,
Passionate. It's passion.
I love telling stories. I love, well, before I got sober and when I was trying to do the Celebrate Recovery thing, I remember going
Celebrate Recovery.
Well, I can remember going.
Sorry,
no, it's fine.
Whatever,
it's
fine.
Love it. I remember going to them and enjoying the testimonies. Right, the testimonies to me were my favorite part.
No, I dig that.
Right.
Yeah.
And I love hearing people's stories. Right. And I love hearing people be successful from their struggles. That to me is just like, I get emotional about it when I hear, like when Heather was here, when we heard her, I just get emotional.
Especially if we can identify, which when someone's an alcoholic, right? We can identify.
And
when they really hit.
Right. And if I'm able to be a part of that and watch that, and it's just, I love it. I love this journey we're on. And I'm once again so blessed that you've walked through this silly ass, stupid podcast and Instagram and everything with me. I appreciate it, man. Hey, if you need to reach out to us, you can reach us at Recovery Unfiltered Podcast. I do not say that enough.
At gmail.com.
Yes. Recovery Unfiltered Podcast at gmail.com.
We didn't say it one time last time.
No, we did not. We did not. And reach out to us, get in touch with us,
argue with us, disagree with us.
Please
Tell
argue
us how
with Rob.
Please
correct argue us. With Rob.
I need correction.
But none of this. What happened, Rob?
I can't work like this.
Oh, wait a minute.
I can't.
Yeah.
There we go.
No crying. Yeah. No crying.
No crying.
It's your sobriety. Take a hold of it. Stop crying. So anyways, I wanted to reach out to a couple things. So
okay, let's have it. Where we going?
Last week we recorded and it dropped, and I another surgery, right? Everybody's like, holy shit, another one. Hey man, I did some damage to my body. I had
that you'd walked with for years.
I walked with for years. I had a major accident when I was 18 years old, drunk, right? It was a drunk thing. And had a rod put in my leg and blah, 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 405 pounds, motorcycle wrecks, car wrecks, blah, 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 14 plus years of
drunken
football.
falls.
I mean, I was not nice to my body, and I said, fuck it, someday I'll have to take care of it. Well, guess what? The
bill is coming due.
The bill is due.
Yeah.
Right. And so I had my hip replaced, I had my back fused, and now they're gonna fuse my SI joints together, which is a real minor surgery. So we talk about that last episode we talked about triggers, and I didn't bring this story up only because I wanted to make sure that and I hope that I've had my surgery by the time this one airs, right? Because that would make me pass the what they call it, the what is it?
Statute of limitations.
Statute of limitations is up on some of the words that I've used in the last couple of days, a couple of days leading up to my surgery. I left yesterday morning. I had to go in and do all my not yesterday morning. That's been a while back, but about 4 or 5 days before my surgery, I had to go and have my pre-op done, and they asked for cardio to be done, right? No big deal. Go in and have EKG done, blah, blah, blah. I've had 24 surgeries in my life. I've had a lot of surgeries. So I'm kind of used to the pre-ops and this and that. So I went in, sat down. Normally the doctor doesn't even come in. They just do the EKG. They take your test, blah, blah, blah. The doctor may or may not pop their head in, blah, blah, blah. So I'm sitting there, and I had a beautiful drive. I was worship all the way there. I had my worship music on, which I don't normally do, but just for some reason, I was just a beautiful morning. I had so much peace in my heart, and I was just loving life. Beautiful morning. And I go in, and I had a 7:30 appointment. It was the first thing in the morning. I walk in and no waiting. I walk right in. They sit
wait, hold on. Doctor's office, no waiting?
No waiting. I walked right in.
That is a beautiful morning.
Beautiful morning. And I walk in, I sit down, beautiful nurse. She did an awesome job, had a great time. She did my EKG, blood pressure, everything's great. And she goes, okay, the doctor will be in a minute. And I'm like, okay, fine. About 10 minutes of 5 or 6, whatever goes by, and the door opens, and this beautiful, probably 6'1" Indian, dark complexion,
taller than me a little bit,
beautiful woman comes walking in. Literally
beautiful nurse, beautiful doctor,
yeah,
beautiful
just beautiful. And I was actually stunned. I'm like, wow. And I sat there for a minute, and then she spoke.
I was waiting. This is going too good. I was waiting for something.
My God.
Did she not speak English?
Oh no, she spoke well.
Okay.
She spoke well.
So what did she say?
She had no accents.
She had no accent.
No accent. Beautiful. And just literally started with zero bedside manners, literally not ridiculing me. That's the wrong words. Questioning why I'm having this surgery.
What did she say? I mean, give me some quotes.
Why are you having this surgery? Because my doctor said it needs to be done, and I still have a tremendous amount of pain. Then, I mean, just riddled questions after question after question. And it's like, honestly, it was so bad that I literally I thought I was being pranked. I did. I was looking around for cameras because my back doctor, he's a prankster. He's a super nice guy. I'm like, this dude's fucking with me right now. There's no way.
He sent in this hot chick.
He is
to bust my balls.
Sends in these 2 hot chicks. And then he sends this in and I'm like, what the fuck is going on? It was that bad that she was just.
When did you realize that this is actual doctor? Just
when she said that she was going to cancel my surgery because I had to have echo done. I had to have the stress test done. I had to get on the treadmill. I had to do another vein test to see if my veins would collapse. She listed off like 4 or 5 tests that she was going to have done. I'm like, what are you talking about? I told her, I said, doctor just wanted my EKG done. There's none of this that needed to be done. And she says, nope, this has to be done. I can't clear you for that. I can't get this done in time. And I stood up and I go, well, I'm seeing my primary tomorrow. He can just do the EKG. I don't need you. And then she said something else. And I go, you're the rudest fucking bitch I've ever dealt with. And I walked out. And I was still just baffled about this. Right. And what I was so mad about, and I'm still mad that myself to a point, because that's just not my personality. Right. I don't 4 years ago when I was still, I'd have probably on that 7:30, I left the house at 6:30. It was about an hour and 5-10 minute drive. I'd have probably had at least 3 tall cans before I got to her doctor's to that appointment. That appointment would have went way differently if I was still drinking, right?
How so? Oh,
I'd have told her to get fucked from the beginning, right? But then again, I'd be right back in the same spot, right? But I was just, I didn't, but as soon as I left there, I was so just baffled that it went this direction, right? That I finally called Katie and I go, hey, you're not going to believe this. And I explained it to her and she was like, that doesn't even sound right. And I go, and then I called her a fucking bitch. She goes, well, that sounds about right. And I'm like, well, I feel bad about that. Right. Then then that whole eating the crow, right? What do you say?
Eat it while it's hot.
My wife, your wife, nor anybody listening to this podcast has eaten a shit sandwich. We didn't have a hand in making it.
Well, I had a 1,000% hand in that one. Right. Yeah. And then I started feeling like shit. Well, I mean, what am I supposed to do? Go back, knock on her door? And I can't. This is just one of those things that you can't have in a minute. I can't go back to that and, walk in and say, hey, doctor, hey, I fucked up. I'm
Why
sorry.
can't you?
Well, what am I supposed to do? Hunt her down in the private life?
Well, no. Go to her office.
I can probably send her an email. I can do that. Hey, I apologize. Until I got the phone call I got today.
Oh, well, go. What is that one?
No, and I shouldn't even say that. I still probably will do that. I mean, there was no, even though she was being the way she was being.
Okay, now making amends doesn't mean that the other person was perfect, and
Right.
it's got nothing to do with this. We own our shit.
Right.
And if you feel bad about calling her a bitch, even though she was being one,
Right.
you make amends on that
And
part.
I have to. I have to. It has nothing to do with her. I was out of hand. And like I said,
You are lucky that Katie wasn't there because she'd have probably got more than that.
Oh, Katie would have ripped her hair off.
Yeah.
It was ugly, right? And so today I was going to my primary, right? And I walk in and the medical assistant that was coming in, she goes,
they all heard this. They all heard
oh
of it.
no, she did. She's like, looks like you had a rough day yesterday. The cardiologist. And I go, what? She goes, it's in the notes right here. And I go, what does it say? And then she kind of reads it, and she's like, she's like, I have no idea why they were wanting to run all these other tests. It's a simple procedure you're having done. I'm like, I don't know. And then the MA walks out, and then my doctor calls me and says,
Is this your back doctor?
My back doctor
Not your
called.
not your general.
No. My back doctor calls me while I'm sitting in my primary, and he goes, hey,
Heard you had a rough one.
no, he says, I'm not going to be able to operate on you. And I go, what? He goes, yeah. He goes, I'm not going to be able to operate on you because she put in the notes that you refuse to do the cardio. So the insurance is not going to. And I'm like, what? And all this being said,
I didn't refuse to do the cardio. I just called her fucking bitch.
and then we talked about it, blah, blah, blah. There's more detailed to it that I'm not going to go into right now, but there's no reason to. Then I got off the phone with him, and then my actual doctor walked in, and
Was he laughing?
First thing she said, she goes, looks like you had a rough day yesterday. And I go, you read it too, huh? She goes, yeah, I did. And she goes, this is not like you. And I go, no, it's not. And she goes, she really had to get you stirred up. I go, she did. And then I kind of explained to her, she goes, Larry, the test that she's asking for doesn't even make sense why she's asking for them. And then she tested me. She looked at my EKG. She looked at everything. She's like, you're perfectly healthy. There's nothing wrong with you. And I was like, I don't know, man.
Does this other woman, this other doctor, does she think you're like fish, like those people that get surgeries because they're fishing for pain pills or something? I mean, like
I haven't been on a pain pill, and
exactly. I don't. But
no,
to me, it sounds.
I have no idea what her trip was. I
would like to know how many more complaints she has gotten.
You know what? And
it doesn't matter. I know.
Katie's after me to write a note, and I'm going to, but I'm also going to write a note to her. What she did and how she handled it to me was wrong. Right. The way I handled it was just as wrong.
Gotcha.
Right. And I think the part that I'm going to wrap this all back around to is, how we handle our lives. We talked about triggers in the previous episode. That would have been a trigger to where I would, if I was still drinking, would have easily have stopped and got a fifth because my anxiety would have been up. It just absolutely, but I can tell you 1000% taking a drink of alcohol never even remotely come across my brain. Right. That isn't even, and we talk about, we talked last time about the guy in our meeting that talked about triggers, and it's like the whole fucking world we live in is a fucking trigger.
Right.
I mean, the fucking wind blowing wrong could be a fucking trigger to you.
It's not, it's an inside job. Nothing outside made us do it. It's all from in our mind. That's what
Right.
The problem with the alcoholic centers in is what?
In his mind.
Mind.
Right.
Not out here. No fucking triggers, you dork.
No. And and it's just one of those things where and I don't want to bring back up the episode we talked about last time, but it all stems back. And I didn't want to talk about this on the last episode because I'm hoping that I've had my surgery by now before this one.
You're going to go back in. Hey, we heard your podcast, motherfucker. No surgery for you. Talking shit. So
that's funny. Anyways, so I don't know where it's at right now. Like I said, hopefully I've had my surgery by the time this one airs, but fuck, who knows?
Hey, but I'm gonna tell you what, I've never had, there was one time and I had Bonnie with me when the little, he's retired now, little cocksucker, the ear, nose, and throat guy in Oakdale. If I did, I'm not gonna lie, this is 100% truth. He's an old bastard, but if I did see him, I would probably slap the shit right out. I mean, like, I probably would.
Yeah, you've said that before.
I probably would.
Yeah.
I would hope I wouldn't. I'd hope I'd be more adult than that, because I normally wouldn't do that. I'm always, more just bite your tongue and swallow the blood. But that motherfucker caused me.
Yeah,
anyway.
it's you know what? But like I said, going back to what I was talking about, we live just such a different lifestyle. My actual doctor today, she said that. She's like, Larry, I'm really surprised that
you said
that. And I'm like, you know what? I was perfectly happy going in there.
Yeah.
Nothing. I was not.
Sun was shining. The birds were chirping.
It was
Doc, let me
beautiful
tell you.
morning. It was
awesome.
a beautiful morning. And it's just like, that's why I said I was looking around going, what the fuck is going on right now? Am I being punked? And because
You're on Candid Camera. Remember that show, Candid Camera?
Yeah.
I love that show.
That's what I thought.
We're old.
Even when I left there driving down the road, I had to collect my thoughts going, did this really just fucking happen? And did I really just call a doctor a fucking bitch? I mean, I was like I said, I was more upset of myself than I was upset of the situation, right? That I allowed myself to,
let me ask you
go
something.
back to that.
Let me ask you something now. Okay. Because I'm trying to put myself, I told Bonnie about that, and I know what she would have said if it was me and that, but that's woman to woman.
Right.
If this was a man, a male doctor who came in and kind of lit into you like that, would you?
Oh, I definitely would have handled it differently.
What would you have done different?
You know what? I should be careful how I say it. I don't know, Rob. I don't know. I'm such at peace in my life,
right.
And I don't want people thinking I'm a fucking, sitting around with my legs crossed doing singing Kumbaya, but I got a lot of peace in my life. I rarely get upset. And it takes a lot for me. Now I get stirred up to where my anxiety, but that's anxiousness. It's not, I've been able to
differentiate. Yeah.
I know when my anxiety's getting up, I have to stop and go, what's causing this, right? Where's this coming from? If I'm getting anxiety, it's either something I haven't done, right, or something I did, or something I said that I haven't dealt with, right?
Oh yeah.
That's when my anxiety comes up. So when I'm anxious is when I'm laying in bed at 3 o'clock in the morning and I know I've got several contracts that are due and I got several stuff that that I need to get done. And I'm working on a deadline because I got to be here, I got to be there, and I got deadlines. Those are anxiousness, right? That's when I get up in my office at 3 o'clock in the morning, I start knocking some work out, and then I go lay back down in bed and I go back to sleep, right? Because I get woke up with these things, and it's okay. That's my job. That's what I do, and I enjoy it. I love my job, and I don't mind doing that. Thank God I work from home. My office is upstairs. I just walk up and I get some work done. I go back down and go back to sleep, right? That's what it is. Or that anxiousness when I know I'm getting ready to go in for a surgery or we're excited to go on a trip. That's anxiousness. That's not anxiety,
Yeah. It's excitement.
There's such a big difference between that.
Oh, yeah.
But, and it's going, like I said, I didn't want to talk about it last time. We talked about triggers and this had just happened, that night. And this guy's talking about triggers. And I'm like, dude, what the fuck would you have done if you had have sat through that doctor? Would that have triggered you to go get a fucking drink? I think about that kind of stuff and I'm like, that is just a fucking bull. To me, when I hear somebody say I have a trigger, it's a fucking excuse.
That's all it is.
It's
bullshit.
a fucking excuse.
And they don't realize
to pick up that first drink.
The problem, the alcoholic centers in your mind,
right?
In your mind, not outside here.
No. You made a conscious decision to say fuck.
That's what a guy called me. I had a slip. Then they know what I was
on a banana pill.
Yeah, what was banana peel? Was it icy outside? What the fuck are you talking about? Or did you make a conscious choice to have a drink, alcohol? Yeah.
Why is there so much controversy in that?
I have no idea.
There is. I hear people on podcasts and stuff talking about
what?
slips, you know.
No such thing as a slip.
Well,
unless it's a fall.
Right.
Yeah, I get that. But when it comes to taking a drink of alcohol,
right.
Methamphetamine, that sounds like Chris.
Methamphetamine. No,
you made
that's
a conscious choice
decision.
And it doesn't just happen. You planned that motherfucker. You know, maybe you don't realize it.
1000%.
But you've been working towards it. And you planned that motherfucker. I had a slip. Where's the banana peel? Where's the ice? I hate that. Or relapse, because relapse is a cancer thing. You know.
Right. No. I had a relapse. I don't have as much problem with the relapse.
No, I don't have as much problem as that with a slip.
With a relapse as I do with the slip or a trigger. The triggers bother me too. You know, here's the funny thing about the trigger, right? When I was in Maynard's.
That's Roy Rogers' horse, by the way, motherfucker. It's not an AA term. It's Roy Rogers'
Boy, you are showing
horse.
your age now.
Yeah.
Holy fuck. So I remember when I was in Maynard's and it was a movie night or something, somebody got to choose a movie. And something was on it, and they said one of the guys go, I have to get up and leave because that's going to trigger me. And
that's pussy.
Now listen, I was only 10 or 15 days into recovery, and even at that point, I was like, a fucking movie's going to trigger you to go fucking drink?
Yeah.
I wasn't even in the book yet, and I already knew that.
That doesn't make sense.
That doesn't make sense to me, right? If that's all it's going to take, you might as well go back out and start fucking drinking again. You're wasting $30,000 in here in recovery.
Yeah,
you need to go fucking finish because I was fucking done. Right. I mean, I was still struggling with a lot of stuff, but I knew goddamn good and well that I was fucking done drinking.
I can't watch that. Well, that guy's drinking Jack Daniels. I can't watch that.
Right. Fuck. Boy, what a fucking miserable life.
But if someone tells you that, if you're sitting there and a counselor's telling you, and mostly it's drug addicts that deal with triggers, right? You know, fucking retards. But again, inside it's sinners in their mind. Same, almost the same book. You stole it from us. But I was in our Yuma plant, and my boss was there, and I said, hey, I want to take you to dinner tonight, and he's like, okay, you know, and so I found this place because I mean I haven't had a chance to really just say thank you for this. I mean I the blessings that have come to me with this new job is incredible. I think that it's everything. God has just blessed me and blessed me and blessed me. And so I just wanted to take him, you know, to dinner. Where'd you go? Steakhouse?
It's called a place called JT Prime in Yuma, Arizona. Now, if you know Yuma, Arizona, it's old cow town. It's not, I mean, some people probably think of it, but anyways, so fine. I mean, they have Texas Roadhouse, they have the chain stuff, but I went through Yelp and I tried to find a nice place I wanted to take him to. So I found this place, 5-star that had this blah, blah, blah. It was all fancy. I said, all right, we're going to go there. So I call him up. I said, hey, you know, be ready, shit, shower, and shave. I'm going to take you on a date. And he's like, oh, I'm scared. And I was like, fuck, you should be, you know, giving each other shit. So
you still drink. I'm sober. I'll get you hammered and take advantage.
So I'm getting there, right? Yeah. So we go, I pick him up. We go there and we walk in this place, and you walk in and it's like you're walking into a strip joint. It is just dark. Yeah. And when you walk in, there's a cigarette. You walk in, there's a little bar right there. There's like 7 or 8 cigar chairs that people are sitting there smoking cigars. Then it's a long hallway, and I walk in, and my boss goes, "Did you just take me to a strip club?" And I'm like, "No." And so they take us back, and they go. You actually had to walk through the kitchen to go sit, and this place is like big time, right? So we sit there and we're looking. I actually had to take my phone out. It was so dark in there. I take my phone out to look at the menu, and we're looking at it. And the waiter comes over, and I go, he's like, "Can I take a drink for you guys?" And I go, "Yeah, I'm gonna have a Pellegrino, and that guy's gonna have an old fashioned."
Smoked old fashioned, just old fashioned.
No. I looked at him. There's like 4 or 5 different old fashions, and it was, I can't even remember the name. It was a JT Prime's old fashioned. It was like it was like $38 or something for the fucking. Yeah, it was a good one. I said, and that guy's gonna have your JT Prime old fashioned, and my boss goes, "That's great. A fucking alcoholic ordered me a drink." Yeah. And I go, "You damn right. I want to watch you drink it, motherfucker." And it comes out right, and so people want to talk about triggers, right? The old fashioned was my one drink that I would sip, right? It was the only one that I would sip. That was my heaven little piece, right?
Gotcha.
So this old fashioned comes out in the smoke jar, in the smokehouse.
Smoke it.
and he pulls the smokehouse off of it, and that has had a square ice cube in it, branded. It had a JT brand
that's
in
cool.
it. I got a picture of it. It's fucking gorgeous, right?
Right.
And I'm looking at that. I even had to take a picture of it, send it to my family. I'm like, look at this thing. And we sit there, we have a great time. Well, at the end of the dinner, I go, yeah, I'm buying your dinner. And he's like, well, that's fucking great with my credit card. You know, I go, no, I'm buying dinner. And he's like, that's the stupidest fucking thing I ever heard. He goes, don't be buying that. I go, no, you don't get it. I want to buy you dinner. And he's like, well, thanks. I don't know if anybody's ever done that for me. And it's just, I just wanted to do something for him.
Though? Come on, what did you eat?
Dude, I had a ribeye. I had a ribeye.
Yes.
And I want to say, medium rare, and it had potatoes and what did he have? I want to say he had something else. It was another steak, but it was probably one of the best steaks I've ever eaten. It was fucking incredible dinner.
What was the bill, if you don't mind me asking?
$297 for two of us. But it was a beautiful dinner, right?
Oh, yeah.
But this is going back to what I'm saying, triggers, right?
If you were going to drink,
from the fucking moment I walked into that place, it looked like a strip club and bar and cigars and just all the shit that goes with that.
Yeah.
Just nice little comfort dinner drink. It's not one house that I say, fuck, I'd like to have one of those. Not one time.
Yeah.
Not once. Trigger. Fuck your trigger.
Exactly.
Get to fucking work if you got a fucking trigger.
Thank you.
God
Thank
damn.
you. Now you sound like me.
Well, now you're getting me stirred up because when I start thinking about the places that I go into and the situations that I go into,
It's a walking trigger.
Then I listen to this guy talk about a trigger going down to dinner with a bunch of guys in LA.
Yeah. If I get too excited, God bless you, man. He's a good, nice dude, but
don't watch Family Feud then.
Yeah.
You get too excited.
Fuck, where's the beer? God damn it. Drunk again. Fuck. Poor bastard.
Oh my God, we're going to fucking be hated.
Yeah.
We're going to be hated.
He's going to start listening. He's going to come to our Monday meeting and start listening to this podcast. You guys were talking about me. You guys ripping on me. Yeah, but by the time he gets to this podcast, I'll have you fucking fixed, buddy. I'll have you fucking rewired. Jesus H.
Oh my God.
Right, we'll go back to where, I know we're old, but we'll go back to where a trigger is just Roy Rogers' horse.
Right.
Or if you're an NA, they got all kinds of fucking triggers. We'll live with those fuckers. Sorry, NA people, I love you, but we don't get you to come on the podcast because you're scared, apparently.
Shit, we've asked like 3 of them, huh?
Yeah.
Right.
They don't stay sober long enough.
I don't know. Yeah, that's not right.
That ain't right. I'm sorry.
That's not right.
That's not right. Please forgive me. I'll make amends to you, whoever. If I offended you, get the fuck over it. Get some thicker fucking
You better be
skin.
careful. You're giving them a trigger.
Yeah. I want to drink it. They're going to do some like Pat calls mad at a woman drinking.
Yeah,
Just do some mad at a podcast guy,
Right.
dope snorting or smoke, whatever the fuck you guys do.
Yeah, so when this podcast lands, I'm going to be telling my story at New Hope. I think it's going to... February 15th.
No, not New Hope, dork.
Oh,
no, you're talking about the one for...
Right, yeah.
That's not New Hope. That's
whatever.
Living Sober.
Well, whatever.
Living Sober.
Hope,
Living Sober. That's a good one.
Right.
That's your doctor?
No.
You had a rough...
Dude. The
So
listeners...
Bottom line, are you going to make amends to that good looking doctor?
I'm gonna send an email to her. Yeah, okay. I am. Yeah, because but here's the thing about it, right? Because the way my brain works is I don't want this to be a negotiation with her. I'm probably gonna wait till after my surgery's done.
That's a good idea, actually.
Right. So I don't want her to think I'm trying to kiss her ass just to get a surgery done.
But
I want her
she's
to
hot though.
I ain't asking her on a fucking date,
You
Rob.
said you're trying to kiss her ass. Hey, can I see them boobies?
Damn it, Rob.
Sorry.
Oh my God.
Sorry.
And
hey, let me see them boobies.
And
no, but I agree with that. I think that's
I just don't want her to think I'm kissing her ass to get me through the surgery. I don't want any of that. I want it to be sincere.
Yep.
I want it to be.
Motives are everything.
Yeah, I shouldn't have. Yeah, motives are 1,000%. Right.
Yeah.
I mean,
that's all God cares about.
Right.
More or less. What are your motives? Why are you doing what you're doing?
So I know
Just
what my
recognize that.
motive is. I just don't know how she would read my motive if I did it before my surgery.
And again, we can't control that, what she thinks anyway. But I agree with you doing it that way.
Right.
Get it all done, then go, hey.
I know in my heart of hearts, she probably will forget. She probably already did forget about me.
No, she
right?
didn't.
And I don't know if she did or didn't, but it doesn't matter.
But I'd be willing to bet that ain't the first time she's heard that.
I will guarantee you it's not, right?
Stuck up.
I will guarantee
Hot
you
chicks
it was
drive me
not
nuts.
the first time she's heard that. And you know what? My back doctor I just listening to him talk, he kind of sounded like it wasn't the first time he's had to deal with this before.
But he's got to put up with her.
He has to. It's all part of that same.
professionalism.
And
I get it.
My doctor was so professional when he called me and asked me to go to another doctor to have this surgery done. And it is what it is. And I don't even know where it stands at this point. Like I said,
You got to go do the test, right?
yeah, I still have to go do all that, and I'm gonna yeah, so I got to do all that. Sorry,
That's all right.
I'm very distracted only because I'm waiting for a phone call. So like I said, I may.
She's going to call you up,
Mr. Shepherd.
Mr. Shepherd, if you apologize right now, I will. We'll do the.
Would
test.
you apologize for something like that? If somebody calls up and says, "If you apologize, I'll do this," would you apologize,
No,
even though you were wrong?
Even at that? No.
Even if you knew you were wrong, if
No.
somebody called you and
told
says,
me-
"If you apologize, I will do this for you,"
Man,
that's a rough one,
well, I would have to preface it with, I was wrong.
right?
Hey, let me say I was wrong by what I said. But I'm not going to do it for that reason. I'm gonna make amends because I was wrong.
You know-
and I owe you this. But if you show me them boobies, I'll apologize like you want. Pretty doctor.
Yeah, I don't know how I would respond.
I probably wouldn't.
Because I have such a heart, like I said, it's all about, once again, it's all about negotiation and timing for me.
Yeah.
If she was to say, hey, you know what, if you apologize, I'd say, fuck you. Unfortunately, I'm that way, right? Don't ask me for a fucking apology.
Yeah.
You are owed one.
Yeah.
You're
If
owed
you-
one.
Yeah,
But don't fucking ask me for
That's
one.
probably what I'd say. I
Fuck
do
you.
owe you one, but you ain't getting it now.
No.
You'll get it on my time, bitch.
Right. And but is that right or wrong? I don't know if it's
It
right or
doesn't
wrong.
matter.
It doesn't matter. I just can't
What matters is to thine own self.
be true.
Can you
right?
sleep at night?
Yeah, I will.
If it keeps me awake,
Right.
bitch, you can have your apology.
Oh, I
'Cause
slept
'cause
just
I'm gonna
fine
get some
last
sleep.
night.
And
Yeah.
she's not worth my peace of heart and mind.
No, I don't know.
It depends on, I don't care how pretty
I
she is.
do know I owe an
and you
email, but it's going to come in my timing as I want to do it. And, and it's going to be, after I know all my surgeries are done. And hey, I was an asshole.
Own it, yeah.
I'll own it. And fortunately, this is the way we live, right? It's the way I have to live to have the peace and serenity in my life.
But thank you for
I
saying
have
that.
to
Because
have
like
it.
Bill said, it's a way of living. Because
Right.
in Bill's story, it says it's a way of living that works in rough going.
Right.
So we've taken a way of living and gotten sober off it. Because think about this, and because we're going to get ready into, and alcoholics really need to think about this, where these things come from.
Right.
Step one,
Right.
the problem,
Right.
mental obsession,
Absolutely.
that came from a neurologist doctor
Right.
in Towns Hospital, Dr. Silkworth, a non-alcoholic. The solution,
Right.
vital spiritual experience, came from Dr. Jung across the world,
Right.
non-alcoholic.
Right.
The 3 to 12, the plan of action came from a bunch of non-alcoholic Christians trying to live out first century Christianity to the best of their ability, the Oxford group.
Right.
So we got sober. This way of living came from non-alcoholics.
All right.
Is that odd or is that?
No, that's God.
That's God.
I don't see. You guys keep saying that, and I keep saying it. No, there's no odd about it. It's
always,
God.
It's always God.
It's always God.
Hey,
What?
if you ever get to see that doctor again, take a picture of her without her seeing it. So I want to see how pretty she is.
Oh, God damn it, Rob! You fucking. No. Maybe I can.
I've never had a pretty doctor.
She was beautiful. She was
I have
beautiful.
never
She's,
seen. I mean,
like I said, she
I've had
stunned
a
me
lot
when
of
she
great
walked
doctors,
in.
but I've never seen.
I almost commented. I almost said, "Wow."
What would you say? Wow, you're
I would
hot.
said you're stunning. No, stunning. Hot makes you sound like a fucking pervert.
Pervert.
Stunning. You're stunning.
Stunning.
But I don't think you can really say that to a doctor.
Why? She's.
I got 2
human.
more years before I'm classified as an old pervert anyways.
Are you? No.
I got to be 57.
How come?
I don't know. That's
Right
just-
now, when you're 55, you can get fucking
No, I got it.
discount, can't you?
No, but you got to understand.
Lay down.
I keep telling this people. At some certain point, it's okay just to be an old pervert and not just
Jay's
a pervert.
crossed that line a long time ago. Fucker. He glad hands all the pretty girls.
My daughters tell me that all the time. Dad, you stop being a pervert. Oh,
So
I
why
can't-
57?
I can't. I don't fucking know. I made it up in my head.
Oh, okay. Oh, I thought there was some legitimate shit you got going on.
No, No, I just said I'm at 57. I'm going to be classified as an old pervert.
That's
so
when you
just
can go
a
up and throw
pervert.
your arms around girls and talk to him and pinch him a little bit. And then, he's just
an old pervert.
he's harmless.
He's harmless, right? Jay don't get in trouble. Now, if I walked up and snuggled on some of them girls like he does, I'd be slapped.
Yeah, because we're perverts. But what is it? We got to know what the criteria is.
That's to me, it's 57.
But what if you're not 57 and you're feeble like that? You're on a walker. You're really,
I don't know.
You're physically harmless. They know they can whoop your ass, so you can go up and pinch them a little bit.
I think we're getting classified as perverts right now. I don't think at any point we're going to be able to be there. Anyway,
that sucks.
So I'm going to change my not change. So the last few days and when I said I had a very peaceful drive in to the doctor the other day, I really have been thinking a lot about more, they say more will be revealed. Right. And there's so much that I haven't spoke about in the rooms of AA to you, to a lot of people. And, because I've never really brought, my childhood up, as how I was raised, and it's just, to me, it wasn't the reason why I was an alcoholic. I was an alcoholic because I fucking drank too much, right?
I lost the control of drink.
Right.
Choice to drink.
But, I also dealt with a depression, right? And it was a deep depression, a dark. And as I look into that and start, walking through these things, and I do a lot of reading,
But was that an alcoholic-induced depression, or did you already have that?
No, I was struggling. I was struggling depression.
Were you treating it or trying to treat it?
I was,
not knowingly, kind of, you know what I mean?
No, I struggled with depression years even after I had my gastric bypass, fat people struggle with depression. I had a lot of, I was that sad clown guy, right? I was happy, jolly out in front, but I fucking hated myself for being a fat piece of shit.
I got you.
Right. So I struggled with that. And then when I lost all the weight, I felt like I I fit in now because I'm skinny, I'm healthy, I look good. But I still had that feeling in the back of my mind that I didn't fit. I was oddball. I was, and I had that, and I really started working through a lot of that
sits
stuff.
with us. A lot of us are like that. Even though outside looking in, we look. But
Rob, I don't know anybody in this AA that I've heard
that was comfortable in their own skin.
I have not heard one guy stand up in front of a room to tell a story to say I was perfect. I fit in.
I was comfortable in my own skin.
Comfortable.
Right.
I was the most popular kid in school. Everybody loved me. I've never heard that.
And I loved myself.
Right. And I loved myself.
And I started drinking and fucking everything.
My parents loved me.
Yeah, I haven't heard that either.
You just don't hear that. What you do hear is I just didn't feel like I fit in. Mm-hmm. And you hear that all over the place. And I felt that, so a lot of the things that really have started coming out. Now, listen, when I say some of these things,
but there's a lot of people who did that and did not turn to alcoholism, did not become alcoholics as well.
Right.
Which is,
I had that alcoholic gene that alcohol.
If there is one.
Right. I don't know if there is or not, but I sure the fuck, I lived it. I was an alcoholic.
Doesn't matter now. I am one.
Right. 6 or 7 years old, growing up, I was dropped off at a ranch, the family ranch to be babysat. I'd get dropped off at 6:30 in the morning until somebody showed up at the ranch at 7:30. And they would basically babysat me during the day because both my parents had to go to work. I mean, that's just not normal. But what I learned on growing up on that ranch in those summer times was essential life stuff, right?
Oh, yeah.
So dwelling on it that I got dropped off, right? Because that was my babysitter and I was, 7, 8, 9 years old walking around this ranch by myself at 6:30 in the morning, and I think about that and I'm like, what kind of fucking parent does that shit, right? But they didn't know any different.
Back in the 70s, that's what you did.
Yeah, 78, 76 is no big
what
deal.
You did.
Then there were so many times that I was told that I was an accident, right? I went to a party with my dad on, around November and I came home with my mom, right? So, it's one of those things.
I've never heard that one.
Yeah.
Well, kind of like John said,
right.
His dad told him the best party you ran down your mom's leg, at 6, 7 years old. You can't process that.
And, and those are the things that you hear growing up, and they're jokes, right? Everybody makes jokes out of them.
Are they?
But you go back to that as a child. Are they jokes? Because I can remember sitting over here at my Aunt Annie's one time and they were talking about how they started talking about how I was the accident. My dad had his son, my mom had the daughter, and I was the accident. I was the third one. As a fucking child, that rings hard. So you go through school, with those thought processes that you're an accident, and then you spend that time trying to fit in, right? You know, I was
which is hard enough anyway.
Right. And I was always trying to look up to my big brother. You know, my big brother was, you know, he's very popular. Everybody loved him. So I was constantly trying to fit in his shoes.
And whether or not you're
including my dad, you know, including my dad trying to fit in my brother's shoes in the eyes of my dad, right?
Whether true or not, you were still trying to do it.
I was trying to do it because he, you know, my brother was just that I just felt like my dad just oogled and awed over my big brother. And I just got the scraps of my dad, and I got the scraps of my mom, and I got the scraps of everything that came. And, you know, and that's not, you know, those things are part of my depression, you know, working through that kind of stuff. And, you know, and I'm not blaming any of that. There's none of that that's involved in my alcoholism and none of that, whatever it is. But those are the things we struggle with. You know, I listened to Heather and some of the stuff she went through. I listened to John, some of the stuff they went through. And I listened to all these people talk about their childhoods. And I've never really jumped into my childhood, right? Because I don't feel like it's what made me an alcoholic. That's not what made me an alcoholic. There's certain things that I'm very blessed that happened to me as a child. I'm going to tell you right now, being dropped off at 6:30 in the morning as 7, 8, 9 years old taught me some very valuable shit that I still carry with me today. It taught me how to be true when I fuck something up and not try to hide it or bury it somewhere, right? It taught me a lot of that. It taught me how to run the equipment. It taught me how to be responsible for myself. It taught me a lot of shit. So I'm blessed for that.
Comes from.
So I'm blessed for that, right?
And we got to always remember, to greater degrees or lesser degrees, just like our kids, we are broken people.
Right.
Broken people are going to raise broken people to a degree.
Right.
You know, some of you do the best you can.
Right.
And back when we were raised, it was a harder, hey, you know, dust it off, kid. Rub some dirt on, that kind of shit.
You know,
do we baby them now? Now we're raising pussies, in my opinion.
I also got the memories of my mom trying to rip some lady's head off because she's chasing my dad around, and then my dad trying to throw a brick at somebody because some dude's chasing my mom around. You know, there's all those childhood things, you know, but does it equate to John losing his mom at 7 years old?
No.
You know what I'm saying?
Again, that's something
They're
different.
different traumas, traumas, right? We all have them.
Right.
And then what does Pat say? Pat says it's unresolved alcoholism, right? You know, if somebody is not dealing with their alcoholism and they're
untreated alcohol.
Thank you. Untreated. I saw your brain working over there. Untreated alcoholism. I take that. I like that word because I don't have untreated alcoholism as much as I think I still have untreated, I still deal with some of that stuff today because I still have to deal with that not feeling like I fit in when I go into rooms. Does it not bother me as bad anymore? Nah, it doesn't.
Right.
No, it doesn't. Because I'm a 55-year-old man and I don't give a fuck anymore.
But right now I'm going, and it just taking a minute as I walk through, and I've grown as a man, as I've grown spiritually. There's no place now. I'm what I never used to be.
Right.
My wife, she was, we're just opposites. You were a people person.
Right.
Go in and I can talk to anybody.
Right.
I wasn't always that way.
Right.
Fuck these.
See, I've always been that way.
I was always the shy. You know, my sister Tammy was
Tammy was
outgoing, and I wasn't. And even as I grown and become more mature, and I can go anywhere now. So I am comfortable in who I am, with my imperfections and all. I am comfortable in my own skin, absolutely comfortable.
Yeah, and it's just amazing though when I go back and I start looking, like I said, part of my story, and it's just when I came out of Maynard's, I went to a job that I really. I knew almost immediately that it was not going to be conducive to my recovery. So I had another company reach out, and offer me a parachute to go somewhere else. And it helped me heal, even more. It literally ripped what little bit of ego I had left in me.
Well, God used that. God opened a door.
Right.
You walked through it.
Right.
And he used that experience to mold you a little more. Right. To get you to be the man he needed you to be for this experience, which is going to mold you some more.
Right. And then to get me to where I'm at now, because my entire life, I felt like I've had to perform to prove, right? I had to perform to prove. And I can, here it goes. Here comes the Bible. Here comes the book thumper. So, But let me finish that.
Go ahead,
so
keep going,
with
tell,
these
baby.
guys here that I'm working with now, they don't want me to perform. They're literally, I've been told, we didn't hire you for what you can do. We hired you for what you know. We want you to slow down, be more methodical, take your time. Don't, so it's what I've learned.
It's a marathon.
Oh, what I've learned to slow down in the last 3 or 4 months is incredible. And I was just having this conversation with one of the owners yesterday. That's just to what they have taught me how to slow down and how to work through things a little bit further. That little bit of anxiousness that I've had, right? That I would like lay in bed. Oh my God, I gotta get this done. I gotta get this done. I don't have that as bad. Now when I have those moments, they're self pressure.
Oh yeah.
They're not coming from outside.
No, that's inside job.
Yeah, it's not coming from outside like it always has been before, right? This is the first job I've ever worked at where I don't have those outside pressures. In fact, I'm getting opposite of it. I'm getting told to slow down.
Mm-hmm.
Slow down. Don't stop. Slow down. What'd you find over there?
Bill Wilson.
Talk to me.
I took a night law course. This is the alcoholic, and obtained employment as an investigator for a surety company. The drive for success was on. I'd prove to the world I was important.
Right. That was me.
And then over here, right? I had arrived. He said on the next page. I was watching his. When he got there, I had arrived.
Right.
I would prove how many alcoholics. I'd prove to the world I'm somebody. I'm important. Because we had this, whether fancied or real. We had a chip on our shoulder. Had to prove.
I can honestly tell you that I've always wanted a title after my name. And with this job right here that I have right now, when people ask my title, I tell them the fucking janitor. Yeah. I don't even fucking care anymore.
Here's the title. I've been given a title by Rob Thomas. Title cocksucker. He's an asshole. That guy. There's your title, but
but it's just a different because I don't have to. It's not like I'm having to run around pissing on trees to try and prove myself, right? Because these owners have went out in front of me and said, "This you will answer what Larry says. You will do." Yeah. Right. And I've never had that before. So I'm at a place where the respect that I'm getting, and I can promise you this is all the promises that this book, this AA program.
Wait, are these extravagant promises?
Fuck. Yes, they are.
Thank you, Larry.
Fucking A right
there. You bet they're extravagant. If they weren't, they wouldn't be worth the shit.
And I think I wanted to wrap this all back around to that is that, that was one of the things when I was driving the other day and instead I was having such a beautiful morning,
before you told that lady she was a fucking bitch.
That was literally one of the things that I was, really.
But look how fast it can turn. Our humanity is.
You know what though, Rob? Going back to like I said, it took me a long time to get up to where I said to go fuck yourself. No, right?
Absolutely.
It took me a long.
I'm proud of you, buddy.
Time to get there.
Even I would have got there.
Yeah,
as Gandhi as I am, even I'd have probably said the same thing. After I pinched
rough, right? And but our gratitude and how grateful we are, and
covers a lot of ills, does it? Man, we can take a lot of shit because, man, you know what? Is this a hill I want to die on?
Right.
Is this really, man, can I just,
and I'm
good right now. I don't want to.
I think I frustrate people when I tell them, really? You're going to let that upset your day?
Yeah. You're going to let that ruin your day or that moment?
Come on.
Well, I'm not going to ruin my day, but you're going to let that ruin 5 minutes of your life?
I mean, what?
I know someone that would love to get 5 minutes back.
You're going to let that one, right? Yeah. Or you're going to let that one cause you to drink? You're going to take all the fucking years you have in sobriety. I don't care if it's all the years. You're going to take the 3 days you have of sobriety and ruin it.
Ruin it
because somebody looked at you funny, or you didn't get your way, or whatever it is. You're gonna start getting back on that misery train. Come on, man. Listen, stick with this program. Stick with it. Those
get
promises,
a sponsor, work the steps.
Right. The promises.
So you don't have to be chauffeured around.
You know what? They come fast, they come slow. It doesn't matter, but they come. They come, right?
But if they weren't extravagant, we wouldn't fucking want them.
And keep your eyes open for them.
Yeah.
Keep your eyes open for them because so many people I look at that have, 3 or 4, 6 months, they're getting the promises and they're not recognizing the promises that are coming to them. Because they're so focused and so hard,
and they're not realizing they're looking for them to come a different way. Right. Because they have they have their expectation of what their promises are. To where,
Hey, I went to a fucking job I thought was going to be the end all. I didn't want to change another fucking job,
But
right?
now, look, but God's had different. Tell God your plans. He'll laugh at you.
Dude, I told Katie this yesterday. One of the fucking hardest decisions I've ever had to make was leaving my last job. At 53 years old, fuck that. I don't want to change jobs again. Fuck, that was hard. And I was so blessed to have that job to get me out of the previous one. I was so blessed to have it. And now I'm going to turn my back on something that I feel like God blessed me with. But God had opened up another door.
Yeah, said go.
Right? He had prepared me for this job that I have right now. I couldn't have done the job I'm doing right now 3 years ago.
No,
my
but
ego would have still been out of
Right.
control. I had to.
And you wouldn't have been able to slow down like you need
Right.
to.
My ego.
God has got you, baby.
Yeah, my ego would have never allowed me to do this job right here in the pace and the way I'm doing it. Right. Because the teams that we have, the teams that we've built up together, right, working in units, working together, I'd have never done that. I'd have just been a dictator saying, do this, do this, do this, do this. And that just don't work, right?
Nope.
It may work, but you're a dick and you're just, you know, you have all those resentments and people.
No
know,
one likes a penis potato.
penis potato. You're an
Dictator.
idiot. Dictator. I just got that. All right, Rob.
All right, buddy.
Fuck. That was fun. That was fun.
Yeah, it was good.
Yeah.
Bitch.
Yeah. recoveryunfilteredpodcast@gmail.com. Please reach out to us, man.
Don't cuss at your doctors, please. Don't cuss at your doctors. They're humans
Not
too.
advisable.
I don't care how hot they are. Don't cuss.
Cuss at your sponsor, though.
Yo,
Fuck
hey, listen,
that motherfucker.
If your sponsor doesn't piss you off from time to time, get another one. Motherfucker ain't doing his job.
Oh, that's fucking awesome. We're out of here. See ya.
See ya.
Thank you for joining us today.
We hope you learned something today that will help you.
If you did not, come back next week and we'll try again.
If you like what we heard, give us a 5-star review. If you don't like what you heard, kiss my... You can't say that, can you? Anyway, if you don't like what you heard, go ahead and tell us that too. We'll see what we can improve. We probably won't change nothing, but do it anyway.
Hey, thanks, Rob. Come back next week and hopefully something will be different and something will sink in. Take
This
care.
has been Recovery Unfiltered.